Now, why God is saying, let there be a firmament in the midst of the water? Because there is already a firmament in the midst of the water. Who can recognize the firmament in the midst of the water? Look at the structure of the word water in Hebrew, Mayim. Mem Yod Mem. And where is the firmament? Yes, the firmament, excellent. The firmament here is the letter Yod. Very good. Now, let's look. So there is already a firmament. When God said, yes, let there be firmament in the midst of the water, and it will separate. Yes, waters from the waters, there is already a firmament. This is the Yod. Now, let's look into the word rakia in Hebrew. Rakia, here, this is the word rakia. Rakia, firmament. There is, of course, continuity in the verse of the Bible, which is saying, Vayas Elohim et harakia, and God made the firmament. Vaikra Elohim larakia shamayim, and God is calling or naming the firmament shamayim, heavens. So we notice, if we now will open a dictionary or ask dictionary in Hebrew or in English, what is a synonym for the word heaven? It will say firmament. Or we shall ask the Hebrew, what is a synonym for shamayim? It will say rakia. Or what is synonym for rakia? It will say shamayim. This is interesting. Now let's look into the value of rakia. Rakia, firmament, has the value of 380. Yes? You can calculate each letter. This is 380. Now, the value of the letter Yod, the separator, the firmament which is in the water, is 10. Or, if you want to look at it from a different angle, here we write simple Yod. Its value, it's 10. When we write, yes, the Yod with a filling of the letters that we say vocally, Yod, Yod Vav Dalet, then we have the letter Yod with filling when its value is 20, because we have Yod in a simple manner plus the 6, the Vav, and the Daled. 6, Vav, and Daled create 10. Here is the, I'll try to write it like this. Do we understand so far? Good. So, good. So God said, let be a firmament in the midst of the water, and it shall separate between water to water. So we take the firmament, rakia, 380. We add to it the letter Yod, which is rakia, or its filling, because either the letter Yod, as it comes simply as 10, we add it as 10, or the filling. What makes the firmament is the filling, the Vav and the Daled, which is 10. And we add it to the 380, and we get 390, which is the value of which word in Hebrew? Shamayim, or heavens. Abigail, we are very happy that you're here. Good morning, good afternoon. Did we understand how the structure works in Hebrew? Good. Good. So, Vaikra Elohim. Yes? And God called to the firmament, Larakia Shamayim. The firmament with additional 10, the covenant, and we did not expand about the Yod. The Yod is the potential, is the covenant between heaven and earth, the 10 spheres. So, Rakia with additional 10, we are in heavens. Do we understand the movement between Rakia, the separator, and suddenly, if we add 10, we are in heavens. There is no separation. Like the song says, heaven, I am in heavens. Feels good. Now, the interesting thing is that Rakia has a value of 380. Another word in Hebrew has the value of 380, Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim, Egypt. Person can feel in a moment narrowness, darkness, but when there's a connection to the potential, a person can feel immediately in heavens. It doesn't matter what is rocking. Please pay attention, there is a relation between Rakia, which is a double, there is a sense of doubleness already in Rakia, and rocking, like the movement. Rakia. Now, the letters, if we look at the word Rakia, we can take from Rakia many, many words, like Kir. Kir is a wall. Here is a wall. We have wall. There is a separator. There is a wall, a separation. But if we rearrange the letters, we have Ikar, which is the main thing. Please remember, this is a very interesting part of Genesis 1. Genesis 1 is basically almost all Genesis. What there is the potential of the whole Bible in the first chapter. This is a chapter that infinite books still are being written about it. So there is a separation, but at the moment of the separation, there is also completion. Do we understand the relation between firmament and heavens, between Rakia and Shamayim? Do we understand the difference? Because when we open the dictionary, we shall find that there's synonyms, but they are very, very different. Very, very different. When Shamayim has 390, this is the value of Shamayim. Without 0, this is 39. This is a very important word, which is the value of dew. Dew is the potential. Dew is also Tal. 39 is the value of the first three letters of the tetragrammaton with the filling. Yod, He, Vav. This is 39. And this is a very strong word in Hebrew, Shamayim. It holds everything. Not to mention that 390, as it is the value of shemen, oil. Of course, when you see Shemen, you can also find already the Memnun, the man. There's a lot to say about that. So let's go back to Rakia. Rakia. The stem letters. Yes, yes, that's correct. The essence. Yes, yes. Rakia. This is the letters, the stem letters without yod. This is Reka. And if we rearrange, this is background, like this. Background. Where is it? Where's the background? This is background, Reka. And when we rearrange those three stem letters, we have Kara, to tear to pieces. And here we arrive to opening of the Red Sea, the Red Sea. Kriat Yam Suf, tearing the water of time. Do we understand this term? Do we understand this term? Yes. Please ask question if you don't understand. This is very important. So, what does it mean to tear? To tear is to open the end. What is happening when there's opening the end or breaking the end? We discover one thing, infinite. When we break the finite, Yam Suf, I will go to it. Yam, this is sea. One second. Yam is a sea, ocean, yes. Sea. Suf. Suf, as a plant, we translate it as bamboo or reed. Yes, reed. And therefore there is assumption that it became red because the E, one of the E failed during the years. But Suf is not just a bamboo, comes from Sof. Sof. A second, Sof. Sof is finite. So opening Yam Suf, opening or tearing the NC or the finite time, what happens? We discover there is an infinite. This is in a way interesting because the same structure of the water remains. This is how the Bible describes what is happening in the opening. And the water stood on the right. Please look at the structure of the letter of the word water. We have mem, water, standing on the right, and water are standing on the left. And Israel is moving in the middle with the yod, with the covenant, yes, that was promised to Abraham in Genesis 15. So the structure of the word water already holds the whole story in it. From Genesis 1:6, Yehi Rakia betoch hamayim, let there be a firmament, but there is already a firmament. Interestingly, in his book, Roots of the Bible, Weinreb looks at the structure of water. And how do we write water in chemistry? Do you remember? How do we write the formula for water? Look at the structure in chemistry. Excellent. Yes. Hydrogen. The H is hydrogen. This is mem water. Yeah. Two waters on one. Yes. Excellent. This is the structure. This is it. This is it. It's the same. Weinreb, when you have the time to read Weinreb book, Roots of the Bible, you will find the same structures. This is the structure. So, speaking about the tearing of the Red Sea or the Red Sea, water is time, and water is standing, or time is standing still. Yes? Time is standing still on the right, on the left, and there's a passage, this timeless pass. Yes? In the middle. But tearing of the Red Sea, opening the finite sea, it's not just a historical story. We can, if there's something, the storm during the day, please remember this. The covenant is always in the middle. We say a storm in a glass of water. Yes? The covenant is always in the middle. Question so far, did we understand the movement from firmament to Shamayim, to heavens, to the tearing or opening the Red Sea, the finite sea of time? If there are questions about it, or any question that comes to your mind from any topic, please feel free to ask it. Yes, Yanis. By the way, there were beautiful questions on Discord, and I appreciate every question that you ask, because it brings all the time new way of thinking. Until Yanis is writing, I just want to... Yes, Moses' staff that parted the Red Sea. Any significance? Yes, yes. Staff, or yes. This is to turn. Yes? Once they used to have radios, or when the volume, I don't know, sometimes we have still like this radio here, that there is a round button in the radio that you can increase the volume. You turn the circle. One second. Moses' staff that parted the Red Sea. 1 second, Yanis. Question by question. Yes? Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. Those are questions are very vital and good. But one by one. Before we move to Moses' staff that was parted and the Red Sea open. This is not magical, how do you say, magical thinking. Let's go back to the radio that has a button for the volume. We can turn the button right. We increase the volume or the sound that comes, and we turn it left, we lower it. When, and this button could be also not just round, we could also use in a way, and the Bible speaks about it, Moses' staff, that it's like extension of the hand. And the Bible says, Nete yadcha, God saying to Moses, Nete matecha or nete yadcha, nete is to turn it. Meaning we can turn this speech in the mind that is always mechanically happening and tell us that everything is catastrophe and nothing will go right? And we are, in a way, are the doers or the makers of our lives. Do you understand the movement? How I move from Moses' staff to one person's life, that he is in front of a moment that he thinks this moment is finite. Yes? There are junctions or moments in a daily life that people, in a way, there is a tendency to lose the peace of mind because things are happening and we always feel that we're responsible and we should do something about it. And it's like standing in front of the sea. You want to go out of the situation and it feels finite and the water are standing. What can you do? You cannot go into the water, you will drown. There's trouble. You cannot go back. The Egyptians are behind. What can I do? So those moments of stress are happening to all of us. But we can turn this button off or lower its volume because there is mechanical happening in the mind that says you have to do about something. You have to do. It's in your hand, it's your fault or so. But it's not. And when there is a turning, there's a peace, and we can, in a way, cross this moment because we did not create those moments, those junctions. Yanis, do you understand the movement between Moses and to our lives? Do you understand this parallel picture? Yes, good. Because it's not so much about Moses, because there is no personal doership, is human stand in front of a situation. Human being is standing in front of a situation. What is happening in the situation? We are all humans. In the second question, the rod that he used or to hit the rock. Yes? This is a completely different story after 40 years of walking in the desert. This is a switch in the thinking, meaning the rod, yes, is like a switch button in the thinking or in relating to things in general. And the story of the rock is a story for itself because it's a huge story. Question so far? Now I would like to go back to the basic and to move to the story of binding of Isaac. Why do I always return to this story? It's a key story for the Western civilization because the Western civilization developed according to reason. In the story of binding of Isaac, Abraham hears a request to sacrifice his son. At this moment, he has two. There's Ishmael from Hagar, the Egyptian maid, and there is Isaac from Sarah. But he doesn't know which son. So the divine speech is take your son that you loved, and then graduation Isaac until he hears Isaac and take him to the mountain that I shall show you, and all of this story. Abraham believes, because this is how the speech goes. Yes, take your son and bring him as an offering. Abraham follow this speech until the moment. And then, at the right moment, when he lifts, and here, Janis, this is a very interesting, because this is a different story, completely different story, and there's a moment when things are what? Happening. And in this story, Abraham lifts the knife, the special knife to slaughter ma'achelet, ma'achelet from ochel, from food, ma'achelet. He already binds Isaac. Isaac is being connected there with ropes, and he lifts his knife, ma'achelet, like the rod. Please pay attention. It's the rod, it's the staff. In here, it's the big knife. It's a moment of decision, to cut decision, so to speak. So he lifts the knife to sacrifice and comes in speech and says 3 words. Al tishlach, don't send your hand. Al tishlach et yadcha. Few more words. El hana'ar, to the boy. Don't send your hand to the boy. At this crucial moment, the one who is on the altar does not have any personal relation to Abraham. Do we understand this crucial point or crucial moment? Do we understand that when this verse is coming or this speech is coming, there is no personal relations between Abraham and Isaac? Boy, non-attachment to what is, yes, the boy. Yes, he's a boy. He has nothing to do with you. No relation, as is not father. Yes, very good. Very, very good. There's a man and there's a boy on the other hand. There is no relations between a father and a son. This is impersonal human being. Do we understand this moment? This verse is very important because it tells us we are impersonal human beings. Because what education does, or what this mechanism called ego identity says, is the following. You have a name, such and such. You were born in a certain continent. You speak certain language. You grew, or you went to this school or to this college, and this is what terms your identity as a special, so to speak, persona, human being. And the Bible says one thing, and this is the beautiful story of the Bible. This is impersonal life. Divinity or infinity lives its infinite life through human beings. Do we understand this concept? From divinity's perspective, there is no difference between human beings. All of them have heart and lung system, and they're breathing, and they're walking on earth, drinking water, inhaling air, and so on. Yes, infinity lives through human being, so no one is different, and God no identity. Yes, of it. Yes, yes. There's no personal doership. Therefore, there is nobody to blame. Yes, and because the systems that human build during the years, there is someone to guilt or to there is there isn't anything like this. This is just infinite life moving through humans. This is what there is. This is why the Bible is the book of being, how life is being lived. And it's not a story about a family, because we can see already. Yes, and this is a great correction. The sages look at this in an interesting lens, because Abraham is the 20th generations from Adam, 20th. Yes, like crown, if you want to look at it, kaf, keter, crown, 20th, or yod in its filling, because the mistake of Adam that he broke the relations with divinity, thinking he's the owner. We shall go to it slowly with Cain, and so yod in its filling is 20. Yes, so Abraham is the 20th generation from Adam, and here starts the correction. You are not the father, and he is not the son. Therefore, what you heard is not valid. Because if the speech says, take your son to the mountain that I will show you and bring him up as an offering, all of this is valid, like in conditions when we are programming. Take your son. But what if he is not your son? If he is a boy and you are a man? So this condition does not exist. And from here, civilization is being built from this moment. In the life of Adam, yes, we can see a parallel story, a father, so to speak, and a son, Adam and Cain. This is a completely different story, because Cain, yes, has the sense of doership. He is the one who owns everything, yes, and he does not want what? To share, yes, with Abel. He has it all. This is interesting, because when we share, this is interesting thing to understand. When we share, there is no need to buy. Yes, and Cain got his name upon the verb kaniti, I bought. Yes, I bought kaniti ishet Hashem. And Cain is not just a name of the first son, because it basically Cain symbolizes the human capacity for cognition. So Descartes said in French, cogito ergo sum, meaning in Latin he said it. It means if I am capable of thinking, yes, it means that I'm existing. In Hebrew, it's even closer. Yes, kayam is existing, and we have next to it kayam, existing, and here the name Cain. Please pay attention to the relation between mem and nun. we think, humans, that since we have the capability of thinking, we have it all. Because kind symbolizes the cognition. Yes, Felipe, hello. Yes, it is interesting that the Bible always shows that our probabilities are proved to be wrong. We expect Isaac to be worshipped. He isn't. We expected the firstborn is the chosen. It is not David, Abel, Jacob. Those are anti-heroes. Yes, 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 yes. Because we have the tendency to judge according to the appearance. And if there's appearance, let's say firstborn is the appearance, yes, or the body. So since our eyes, yes, they're giving us this information of seeing, so we are judging according to seeing, because we cannot grasp abstract being. We can't. Yes, 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 cough. Yes, a monkey. Yes, very good, Pixies. Cough is very good. Kaya, very good. Very good. Yes, yes. The letter Kof has a foot under the line. Yes, the sages says this is in the shells. This is under the line, like under. We say under world. Yes, the lower worlds. And Cain lived outside of the human circle. Yes, Cain lived in the east of Eden. East of Eden. Yes, born from Chava experience. Yes, yes, yes. Kidmat Eden. Kind, yeah, few things are coming at me at the same time. I can order. Cain, after he killed Abel, he lives in a very interesting place called Kidmat Eden, Eretz Nod, moving all the time, fugitive and vagabond. Yes? Philon defines a typical behavior of Cain. We can see through his thoughts. He says, what is Cain? Or this typical behavior of Cain in us. Adam shelo bimkomo. A human not in his place. Yes? Human not in his place. This is Cain. Fugitive and vagabond. He is capable of doing many things because he is not in his place. There's a beautiful painting in art that describes how Cain lives among like murderers and undressed people and in wilderness, not in civilization at all. This is a beautiful picture. I hope I can find it later and post it. Interestingly, what happens is that firstborn of Cain. Cain also, yes, had a child, and his name, you remember what was the name of Cain's son, or the child who came through him? Do you remember his name? Hanoch. Hanoch. I'm sorry, so many things are coming at the same time. 1 second. Cain, after killing Abel, he had a realization, and he had a son, Ben. Ben, also from Havana, understanding. And the name of his son is Hanoch. Hanoch has, you can see the letters, you can see through the letters what do those letters mean. And we can see how Cain is repenting through the name that his son is coming with to the world. This is interesting because regarding the birth of Hanoch, nobody gives this baby a name. He comes with the name. Usually we read later in the Bible that, let's say, Leah says about Reuben, yes, look, there's a son, and she named him Reuben. And so the Bible tells us usually who is naming the child and for what reason. But here, when we read the verse, the baby comes with the name. And there's no particular saying that says who is giving the name and why. What do we learn from Cain, first son, by the way? And the Bible said that he built a city and named the city according to the name of his son, Hanoch. Hanoch. It might be heard also as chinuch, education. It holds the letters, yes, of Chet and Nun, Chochmat Anistar. We have Chaf and Vav, the tetragrammaton. So by the name that was given or came with Cain first born, we can see a change. Do we understand the movement in Cain's life through the life of his son, through the name of his son? Do we understand that? Do you remember this story that Cain? And this is the meaning of education. Yes? Education for reason, supposed to give all of us a peace of mind, a man in his place, Adam bimkomo, when there is no reason and man is not in his place, there's all kinds of things are happening. Yes, Johannes, Genesis 4:17, Cain knew his wife intimately. She became pregnant and gave birth to Enoch. Cain built a city and named the city after his son Enoch. That's a great thing. Weinreb speaks about this topic in his book Roots of the Bible, and he speaks about the city, how the city in all of its facilities, when there's also museum, university, arts, supposed to give us a peace of mind. Yes? Question so far? Yes, Aniola, please open the appointed sign, the so-called mark of Cain Genesis. Yes. Mark of Cain. Cain is it. Yes, he said, "Hen gerashta oti hayom." Truly, you expelled me today from the face of the earth. Ha'adama, ha'adama, umipanecha esater, and I shall be hidden from you, and I shall be navanat, fugitive, and vagabond in the land, and everybody who will find me will kill me. Yes, yes. There is a saying here of Cain, and from your inner, from your face, I shall be hidden. There is a discussion, and the name is, yes, Satir, I shall be hidden. There is a discussion in the Babylonian Talmud regarding the book of Esther. The sages are asking, where is the first time in the Bible that those 4 letters are being mentioned? And they say, in the speech of Cain to God, Umipanecha esater, I shall be hidden from your inner. This is interesting because please pay attention to the active voice, not that God is hiding, yes, from us, but us being outsider, thinking that we are possessing the world, we are, yes, being hidden from God, from being. Do we understand what Cain says about the hidden? Because Cain says few things. You expelled me today from the face, not of the earth, in English, me'al pnei ha'adama. Ha'adama, from Adam. I'm not human anymore. You expelled me from, not from the face of the earth, but from being human. And from your inner, I shall be hidden. I'm not human. Kill his brother. I'm not human anymore. Do we understand the relation between hidden and the intimacy with God? What? Who is hiding? God is hiding, the being is hiding, or man is hiding himself from being? Yes. We are hiding from being. How? People open their, how do you call it, their meeting, how do you say, schedule, or people open their calendars or their diaries. Yes, yes, think, yes, yes. You should look how people hide from God or from being. They open their diaries or the meeting book and they feel already weeks ahead, every day, what they're going to do. They're scheduling, yes? What they're going to do 6 weeks from now. Open their book of meetings. Everything is marked with meetings, with something to do. Here meeting, here dentist, here that, everything. They are booked for 6 weeks. So who is hiding? And people feel unrest, and they initiate more meetings and more things to do outside there in the linear, so to speak. And the farther they go out, the less peace they have. So they're hiding with intention from the mode of being. This is uncomfortable to be in being, because suddenly all the walls that we are controlling things and we are making decisions, those walls are melting, they're not existing. And this makes people freaking out. God in Genesis called out to Adam, but the Lord God called out to the man, where are you? Ayeka. Yes. People say all the time, we were educated on the horrible things of the Holocaust. This is how they... And people were saying this, those generation, where was God? If the question is, where were you? Yes? God is in the man. Consciousness, infinite consciousness, is in all of us, living through us. If we turn our back, yes, yes. If we turn our back, we shall find ourselves doing things out there, not or afraid to let go, because there's walls around us. People look outside what other people do. They pick up through the, let's say, living in families and education system, college, university, temple, what, how people behave, how people think, and people just adopt things, bringing in. I mean, the art is to take things out and discover that there is nothing there. Nothing, there is being. No name, no address, just emptiness. What makes the lion? They say the lion, there's a saying that lion is the king of the animals. What makes the lion sit in his royal posture, if not nothing? The mark of Cain is not external. The fact that Cain is moving, na vanad, TikTok, na vanad is, yes, 160. The Vine Rep says Navanad, fugitive and vagabond, is 160. Yes, like a rock. Yes, like his name. There's a lot to say about that. The fact he is moving all the time, this is a mark. When he is resting. And look at people jogging, going to gym, going to treks in the Himalaya. Yes. Yes. Not still. Yes. You don't, if people are, it was, what can I tell you? There was a thing a few weeks ago. Yes. 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 There is a place in the bay. There is like a place when people can buy things, like few stores and a parking lot and a bus depot and a train depot and, you know, trees and suddenly a man starting running like 100 kilometers per hour, something from nowhere. There's no fire, there's no rain, no missiles attack, no grenades are being thrown to the space. Person Chuck is running in a parking lot like so. When people notice this in the space, when people just walking in the daylight with Kinderwagen and just walking, enjoying the sun or whatever, when people notice such a movement, do they need to think about the verse and God put a sign, a mark? The fact that he moves in this way is already a mark. We understand this is the interesting thing, that the Bible is the book of being. There is no uh, doing. This is how things are. Yes, when we just opened this conversation with a verse about the firmament. Let there be firmament. There is already a firmament in the water. Mem Yod Mem. The firmament is the letter Yod between the two Mems. Yes, God does not need to put mark. Yes, on Cain. Cain. This is the mark. You see somebody moves like this. This is you don't need. A grandpa from the heaven write a script. You see this, how he moves. And this is the beautiful thing, because this movement is not just in kind. This structure comes in all humanity. Cain lives only 7 generations, no more. This is how we learn first time about the structure of Jubilee before the Torah comes. Already from the story of Cain, we hear or we learn about the Jubilee. So the mark is the rest. Yes, 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 yes. This is it. This is so Cain lives only 7 generations, but not Cain. All the mechanism of buying and building, we call it kinyan. Kinyan is buying assets and building. Building in terms of institutional. Not just 7 generations, but everything moves in structure of 7 double 7 times 7 in English. How they say in English. This is the Jubilee. Here I'm writing. Here doesn't go because this is 7. No. 5. Here. Then we have the Jubilee. So before, in a way, the Torah, before we read in the book of Exodus about going out of Egypt and going to Mount Sinai, and Moses gives the Torah, and in the Torah there's a counting and Jubilee, we hear from the life of Cain. This is not just the life of Cain. This is how we are being lived through infinity. This is in the structure of 50, 49. 49 plus 1 is 50. This is how we live. And then the whole structure of life is being melted or destroyed, and comes a new life from there. Because whatever we think that we get, or we know, or we have it, is being melted through time, while a new reality is coming from there. Look at the tree. The current leaves are falling. They're yellow, brown, orange. They are falling. Yes, at fall, but at the same time, the new leaves are already there. Yes, at the top. So, and the story about humanity already appears in the story of Cain. Because Cain, again, is not just a person who lived 5,000 years before our time. This is our ability to think, cognition. Cognition. We think that if we are capable of thinking, we have it. Questions? So what did we learn today? There is infinite all the time. And to be there in timeless past, in infinite, to cross the Red Sea, Yam Suf, is just to turn. What? To turn down the volume of the conversation in the head that tells us that we are our own makers. Yes? We create things, we are in charge of things, we have responsibility for things, and so on. When this is falling, this volume is turned down, off, there's infinite path, or infinite, yes, way to go. So, what is to return home? Home existing all the time. And I don't speak about, let's say, people live now in apartments or houses with it's not a physical 4 walls. Home is being. When we turn off or lower the volume of what is happening out there in a feed of somewhere, turn off the volume, we are home. Always there. It is always there. Yes, it is here. Yes, just turn off or turn down the volume that we are the makers, we are in charge, we are responsibility. Yes, and we are guilty for something that nobody remembers. All of those things just, they fall. Yes, and there's only love.